Nah, that was nasty. I just saw Aaron Rodgers throw a pass to Garrett Wilson. That catch by Garrett Wilson was nasty, dog. That Joe was nasty. That Joe was nasty. I gotta give him some credit. I gotta give him some credit for that. And that guy Michael Corley, how are you gonna pull a Deshaun Jackson? I was about to say Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Jackson. You a rookie. Just walk into the end zone with the ball. The most Jets thing ever. I'm reacting in real time to this, y'all. But what's good, y'all? What's good? Real Talk Squad. This is Miles. You listen to Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where you know we always keep it real. We're alive. We're back in the flesh. Let's get it. Fly, Eagles, fly. They are so lucky that I wasn't in the crib during that Eagles game, that I wasn't at my setup and I was in Atlanta celebrating homecoming. So lucky, because I would have popped it even more. Even more. I was at a brunch. I was at a Sunday brunch with my line brothers. Shout out to my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And I was with them, and I was acting a fool at the brunch. I was acting a fool. The reason why I was acting a fool is because I saw my man Jalen Hurts continue to prove these doubters wrong each time, each and every time. Y'all know what we do. We keep it real. We keep it a beam. We keep it a stack. It's funny now that the whole consensus is, well, Jalen Hurts needs his weapons to succeed. Wow. I never knew that, like, playing with good players, playing with better players makes you better. I never knew that, you know what? Surrounding people around you who are great are going to make you great. You are a genius. You are a genius. I could have never believed that. Like, it's the dumbest narrative. My mic went off, but somebody bumping some R&B right now, and this junk kind of slamming. I'm gonna get back to my Jalen Hurts, but y'all heard that Leon Thomas Mutt song? That junk hot. Let me get back to this Jalen Hurts slander real quick. I'll start from the top. The Jalen Hurts disrespect, it keeps getting more wild, more ridiculous, and it's laughable at this point. Because at first it was the turnovers. Well, he stopped that. Then it was the passing yards. Then he threw for more receiving yards or more passing yards than Joe Burrow. 260, 80% completion percentage. He's having a career high in completion percentage, 69%. 69%. 69. But there's a new narrative now. The new narrative with Jalen Hurts, and y'all probably already heard me say it, but I'm just gonna make sure because my mic was off. The new narrative with Jalen Hurts is he needs his weapons. In life, when is there ever a situation that a person doesn't get better when better people are around them? If I have friends that are on their stuff, that's gonna make me better. In sports, if you have teammates that are very, very good, better than your past teammates, you might think that they will make you better. And this isn't exclusive to Jalen Hurts. What has Joe Burrow done without Jamar Chase? Nobody talks about that. What has Josh Allen done without Stephon Diggs? It's a reason why the Bills traded for Amari Cooper. It's a reason. Dak Prescott, CD Lamb, CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey. It's a reason why that 49ers offense is putrid in the red zone. I can keep going down the line. I can keep going. Lamar Jackson. You don't think that he benefits from Derrick Henry on track to break the NFL rushing record? These are all great players with great teammates. But for some reason, all I'm hearing is that Jalen Hurts needs A.J. Brown. That Jalen Hurts needs Saquon Barkley. I'm sorry. Not everybody can be Patrick Mahomes where Tyreek Hill leaves and they still win a Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But in the end of the day, it's like Mahomes too. He has the greatest offensive play caller ever. Like you need help. You need great people around you to make you better, dog. But the problem with certain people in sports media, they pick and choose when to give a guy credit and then when to give more credit to his team. And it's weird. It's super, super weird. But I've said this from the jump. It's funny now people are saying, well, Jalen Hurts, the formula is for him to throw less, run more, when we've been saying it's coaching, which was the reason why he wasn't as productive earlier on this season. He's not perfect. He had to clean up those turnovers. But the recipe is never to have Jalen Hurts throw out the pocket 30 times a game. That was never the recipe. I'm sorry. Lamar Jackson, an MVP, a two-time MVP. If he's throwing the ball over 30 times a game, the Ravens are cooked. That's literally what teams want the Ravens to do. The Ravens are at their best when they run the ball. So Kellen Moore has to realize, look, I mean, and I hope that he did against the Bengals, and it looked like he did. Or really these past two games, especially with the Giants and Saquon Barkley going crazy. And then, Saquon Barkley still had a monster game against the Bengals. But I believe that Kellen Moore is finally realizing that, guess what? Jalen Hurts is not Dak Prescott. He's more of a runner than a pure pocket passer. Now, I would still take Jalen Hurts over Dak Prescott any day of the week because I don't care how you get it done. All I know is that one guy is a winner, one guy is a loser. We don't care about regular season games. We care about the playoffs. We care about what you do when it matters the most. One guy has done it. One guy has not. So, Kellen Moore, how about you play to the strengths of your quarterback, of your $250 million quarterback, and let him ball? And we are seeing what he does. The biggest problem I have with some Eagles fans, it might not be Eagles fans, but let's not do this. When the Eagles do bad, the offense is Nick Sirianni. It's not Kellen Moore. But then when the Eagles do good, oh my gosh, Kellen Moore is amazing. I thought that this was Nick Sirianni's offense that y'all was trying to say. I thought this was Nick Sirianni's offense. So if this is Nick Sirianni's offense, who we will talk about very, very shortly, when the offense does good, you got to give him credit. Now, I've been on the side that's been saying it's Kellen Moore thing the whole entire way. And he's been trying to have Jalen Hurts be somebody he's not, a pure pocket passer, which that's not who he is, especially early on in games. That's why the Eagles have very, very slow starts because they're trying to pass to run. No, you have to run to earn to pass the ball. Come on. The more that you run effectively, the more that allows opportunities for AJ Brown and Devontae Smith to get one-on-one opportunities. And that's when you can go ahead and get that deep shot down the field for a 40-yard touchdown. Because the safety is pinching in, thinking that they got to go ahead and cover a Saquon. They got to go ahead and cover a Jalen. But heck no, you got Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown. You got freaking AJ Brown on that go route, and it's toast. It's toast. So all this to say, let's not hold Kellen Moore under this thing where he's not accountable. He's got to be accountable. And I'm always fair. Speaking of fair, let's talk about Nick Sirianni. This whole notion that Eagles fans and folks got to apologize to Sirianni for what? For what? For doing your job? Now, I'm always going to give somebody credit. I'm going to give somebody credit if they do well. If they don't do as well, then you're going to get criticized. I gave Nick Sirianni credit by saying after that Browns game, and really since he shaved his head, I mean, the fact is the Eagles are undefeated, 3-0. But really after that Browns game, I gave Sirianni credit for the way the team appeared to have rallied around him and finally play complete football. Because if you're going to knock Sirianni for the team being sluggish against the Buccaneers, you have to give him credit when they play a complete game against the Giants or the Bengals. It doesn't matter the opponent. I mean, maybe if it's Deshaun Watson you face, but it's the NFL. You got to give these guys credit. So we have that right there. I'll give him credit. But the problem with this Nick Sirianni, you got to give him an apology, all this stuff. Why would I give somebody an apology for doing their job? That's like I got an F in school. My parents punish me. The next test, I get an A, and I tell them, where's my apology at? They'll be like, boy, get out of my face. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. You feel me? That's what you're supposed to do, Nick Sirianni. You're supposed to have this team that is ultra talented with Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, a great O-line. Yes, it's banged up, but you got the best offensive line coach in the game. You got pieces on defense. You got two studs in that secondary in Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. We need to see this Eagles team play a complete football game. So we're not going to go ahead and say, well, all right, Nick Sirianni, all that rah-rah that he's not that guy was all just gibberish and all this stuff. No, it was valid at the time. And we're going to see if the Eagles can keep this up. It's a long season. But we are always going to give somebody credit when they do well. And I'm giving Sirianni credit. Now, the question is, do I believe in Nick Sirianni still? No, I do not. I do not. But frankly, it doesn't matter if I don't believe in him. It matters if the players believe in him. And since bro shaved his head, the players have been playing like they believe in their coach. So that's cool. Do I think that he's Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan? No, I don't think that. But ultimately, if Sirianni doesn't call plays on offense, if he doesn't call plays on defense, The culture better be A1. So I'm not finna give the guy an apology because now the culture looks very, very good. That's your job. That's your job. You feel me? Comment down below what you think about that. Comment down below. A matchup I want to see, and tomorrow y'all will get a full matchup breakdown with the Eagles versus Jaguars. A matchup I want to see is the battle of the rookies. What's his name? Brian Thomas Jr. versus Quinyon Mitchell. I'm so serious. The matchup I want to see. The matchup I want to see is the matchup between Quinyon Mitchell and Brian Thomas Jr. Heck yeah. We got an outstanding rookie cornerback who would be the favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year if he could just catch the ball. But like, he's a stud. And then Brian Thomas Jr. is leading rookies in receiving yards. So when we see Brian Thomas, on the outside, which he is prone to do, it's going to be reps. It's going to be reps. And I love Quinyon Mitchell's chances to lock him up. And I know Quinyon's going to talk that talk. And if Brian Thomas wants to go on the inside in the slot, Cooper DeJean got that. He got that. He got that for sure. And so I have to give Howie Roseman credit. I have to give Howie Roseman credit for drafting Quinyon Mitchell, for drafting Cooper DeJean. You did your thing, big bro. You did your thing, big bro. Because if this is how they are looking in their rookie year, I can only imagine what year 2 is going to be like, what year 3 is going to be like, what year 5, year 6 is going to be like. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And this is literally the future of this defense. We're looking at Jalen Carter to be the next Aaron Donald. If not Aaron, Dexter Lawrence, like that's what we want to see from him. We want to see Nolan Smith come into his own. And we have seen that lately he has turned that corner. Same thing with Nakobe Dean. Zach Bond was a great addition. And I would like to get him an extension. That was a phenomenal signing that went under the radar. But he's been playing like his NFL life is on the line. It's on the line. The last thing I really say on the Eagles is the Eagles getting to the Super Bowl isn't out the question no more. I'll say it again. It's still on the table for the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl. They were my Super Bowl pick. They were. And the recipe is to have a top 5 offense. And really, like, it don't even got to be like a top 5 defense. All it got to be is like top 12. Top 12. It's got to be like slightly above average. For real. And we are seeing since Cooper DeJean has been inserted in that defense, this defense look completely different. Completely different. So if the coaches can get out their own way, if Jalen Hurts can limit his turnovers, and if this defense can keep this level up, it's really a 2-horse race between the Lions and the Eagles. And let's see what we do. Let's see what we do. And honestly, we have a good chance. I mean, the Lions missed their best player in Aiden Hutchinson. It's huge. It's huge. They're also in a tough division. So it's like You got to face the Vikings and you got to face the Packers. And I know the Bears are like the worst one in the division, but still, it's like, all right, like that's the toughest division of football. So it's going to be harder for you to get a number one seed, get that bye. Now I know it's crazy for me to say, oh, I think the Eagles can go ahead and get that number one seed, but looking at our schedule, I mean, I don't think it's out the question. I don't. I mean, let's look at this real quick. I don't think it's out the question. Let's look at this genre real quick, y'all. Let us look at this. Here is the Eagles' remaining schedule. And I definitely think it's on the table for the Eagles to get that number one seed. Jaguars, W. Dallas, W. Washington, that's going to be a game. Rams, W. Ravens, that's going to be a game. Panthers, Steelers, that's both of those are wins. Commanders, again, that's going to be a game. Dallas, again, easy money. Giants. So I'm looking at the toughest games are going to be against the Commanders and against the Ravens. The Eagles have 2 losses right now. 2 losses. I would say that they probably split one with the Commanders. And I like their chances against the Ravens. The Cowboys are scrubs. We're not worried about them. The Rams, I'm not worried about them. Steelers, heck no. Panthers, heck no. Giants, come on. So, like, out of those, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, with 10 games left, right? 10 games left. Out of those, I could see us winning two. I can see us losing 2. Sorry about that. I can see us losing 2 at most. So if the Eagles end up being, what is that? What, 13-4? That's on the table. That's on the table, gang. That is certainly on the table. So I like that. Let's get into the Sixers real quick. The Sixers are a sick franchise. They're sick. They essentially did not tell the Sixers fans about Joel Embiid's injury so that they could hold on to their season ticket holders. That's sick. I can't. When I cover them, I'm covering them because I have a big Philly fan base and I owe it to them to talk about the 76ers. But I don't actually have any like love for the squad. I don't. I'm done with them. I'm an Anthony Edwards fan. I'm cool with him. On a fan tip, that's my guy. That's my guy. That's my favorite player. But the Sixers are cooked. They are cooked. And I'm not gonna get hype. I'm not gonna get hype when Embiid comes back. I'm not gonna get hype if the Sixers start winning some games with Paul George and Embiid. I'm not. Because I'm not gonna fall for the trap. I'm not. So that's just simply what I'm gonna do. And look, this is why when I said last year, trade Joel Embiid and got a bunch of hate from it, it was like, I know why folks was against it at the time because it's like Embiid just came off an MVP. Why would you trade him? But certain times you have to get off a guy a year early so you don't put yourself in a bad situation. So I'm sorry. The East is too good for the Sixers to have a team or a big 3 that plays less than 20 games together. It's too good. The Celtics, best team. The Knicks, right there. The Cavs looking very, very good. The Pacers were just in the Eastern Conference Finals. So it's like you have these other teams, and it's like they're going to actually play together, dog. So I'm not gonna go out here and be hype and be happy that Embiid scores 31 night when he comes back. No, because we know the writing on the wall. Yeah. Honestly, a dream case scenario. Y'all want to know a dream case scenario? I would love for the Sixers to trade Joel Embiid and like a first round pick or two first round picks for Giannis. No BAP. No BAP. I don't know if the Bucks would do it, but if I'm the Sixers and I see that Giannis, he ain't looking too happy in Milwaukee, I'm calling them and I'm saying, yo, you want Embiid? I'll give you a first round pick, maybe two. Maybe two. Because then if you got Tyrese Maxey and you got Giannis, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That would be different. And I like Maxey. I like him a lot, but Maxey is a two. Mac, he's not a one. He's not a one. He's a two that needs either a one or a or he could potentially be like a 1A, 1B, but it's not like, and we see in NBA history a small guard leading a team to a championship, like talking about Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry. Like talking about two guys. So I don't think Maxey is that. I don't think he's like AI where he can carry a team by himself to a chip or to the finals. But this is unfair to Tyrese Maxey that he has to play with Caleb Martin or Kelly Oubre as the second best player. If I was him, he would never say it publicly, but I'm being like, yo, Embiid, what you want, cuz? But he's a nice guy. He won't, he's a nice guy, high character, all that. But I'm gonna try to speak up for him. Like, come on, yo. Embiid, you leaving your man hanging out here. Hanging. And the Sixers, the way that they're going about this, the fact that Nick Nurse is out here, he's just lying. He knows what it is, but he can't say it. So I'm looking at ownership. I'm looking at Daryl Morey. Like, what the hell are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? And why is it always something every single year? Why can't Sixers fans just have a normal season? Just a normal season. That's all. That's all I ask. But maybe that's a tall task. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Real Talk with MJ. We are out.